reasons why I love you and none of them rhyme. 9 times 9, 81, Bonnie and Clyde. We got high and sat by the Wellington sign. I had one hell of a time, it's rock and roll till I...
Welcome to the Green Tea, Freedom and Truth channel. This is Tristan. It's good to have the Green Tea team back for this edition of the video log. It is Sunday, the 23rd of August 2020 here in Taupo, New Zealand. A big thank you and much appreciation for everyone who has liked, shared, subscribed and commented to the channel. It is much appreciated. And the numbers are growing, so please hit the like and subscribe button now. Today we're going to be having a talk about the New Zealand media, which is basically the paid propaganda arm of the government, and also why there's no coverage or media investigation of all of the accurate reporting and people saying that they knew ahead of time of lockdown coming in the second week of August. For me, this is major news. If people were putting out that they knew prior, weeks and months prior, that there would be a lockdown in the second week of August for more political reasons rather than V-word related reasons, I would think the mainstream media would be investigating that hard, really doing a deep dive investigating. And when I say that the media is a paid propaganda arm of the government, it is so rare to hear any critical analysis of what the government's doing, anyone speaking up about the Prime Minister negatively, anyone talking and really doing the hard questions on what's going on at the moment. It is all pumping up the government, supporting the government and that type of thing, and it is unbalanced. And TV1 and TV2 are state-owned broadcasters. The state owns them, the government owns them. They generate most of their funds, but the government tops them up. But just during the lockdown time, just before the lockdown, the government gave a $50 million injection to mainstream media sources. So now basically every media outlet is tainted with government money. How can you be objective and critical of someone you are receiving money from? You are receiving funds from them, therefore you're critical how you can analyze them. It's like you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, because they are paying some of your wages. And it's like giving critique on your bosses. Your objectivity and unbiasedness is affected by receiving of that money. And in the Hindu and yoga traditions, they have what's called the yama and niyama, the precepts. They're like the 10 commandments type thing of what you should and shouldn't do. And the precepts of yama are avoidance of injury to others, of untruthfulness, of stealing, of incontinence, spiritual incontinence, or gift receiving, which brings obligation. Gift receiving, which brings obligation. And this is happening. The media is receiving money. They are not being objective. They are basically a propaganda arm of the government, which is highly concerning. So it's good that we are aware of that, and we can filter anything we receive from them through that filter, and take steps accordingly. And also we have heard, and I have heard too, that New Zealand is primed for an election hack, some sort of influence in an election. And the people prior to this recent lockdown in Auckland said that they wanted New Zealand in some form of lockdown so we could have a postal ballot, which is easy to manipulate and would benefit the government, who would allow themselves to get into government or retain their power or be influenced by some other outside party. So when these things are being predicted and come true, this is huge news. This is huge news that is, it's not V-word related, it's politically related. I made sure I told, when I was hearing credible information months before, and weeks before, of the second round of lockdowns, I made sure I told as many people. I prayed that it wouldn't happen, but I had my eyes open and knew that if it was happening down the line, that it was for politically driven reasons. So I think we need to be very mindful of that and ask ourselves, why are the mainstream media not diving deeply in and questioning, finding out where people got this information from, what sources inside the government, inside the military and police, this sort of thing. Because this is huge news. Like, I've had lots of people ask me, how did you know? And I was like, I heard other credible sources. I wanted to put it out there. I prayed that I was wrong, and it has proven to be right and has come true. So let's see if the government angles towards this postal ballot, which can be easily manipulated and that type of thing. And the more people that have the knowledge and have the heads up on that, the better it is for us, because we can see the narratives coming through. And often you see, like, if the media is slightly critical of the government, they tend to sandwich their criticism in amongst, so they'll do something positive, keeping up with the narrative, then they'll do some sort of critical, hard questioning of the narrative. And I have people sending me these links of people they're like, look, listen to this. So they have a positive, then they have a questioning, kind of objective, unbiased media type piece in the middle. Then they finish with a supporting the narrative type piece at the end. And it loses its credibility because it's just sandwiched in amongst two things that are supporting the narrative that, if anyone questions, is, blaspheming against the holy ones, which is completely untrue. And in this current climate we're in New Zealand and in many Western countries, it is a shock to hear media sources asking the hard questions, really being critical, this sort of thing, of the current Prime Minister and government. They give them passes, they're making these huge mistakes. Kiwi build, unemployment, racking up mass debt, crashing the economy. The government's basically like they're at a drunken party in Las Vegas with daddy's credit card, just spending money like it's water and with no thought for the future. And we all know that our children and our grandchildren and ourselves will be the ones in the future paying for this mass debt that is being racked up. And also media sources in other countries. In Canada, their media is bought off by the government. And yeah, when people have that monetary influence, you have to filter it. That's why, like, I listened to the Vinnie Eastwood show, his coverage of the Advanced New Zealand Public Party. He's transparent and upfront. They say, okay, that this is a supported broadcast. I have received money. So it's transparent, it's upfront. I can respect that. I know that some things that come through are coming, he is now being paid by them. And so I can filter, I can look through a lens of that. But when we're looking at our national broadcasters and we think they are independent, unbiased, and objectively looking at scenarios that we are being fed, and they have access to so many people and so often, knowing that they are bought and paid for, and they are biased. It's very hard to be objective when you're receiving money from someone. You do not want to bite the hand that feeds you. I was talking to someone in town. I wanted to do an interview with them, a business owner, about how difficult things had been and how badly the government had been treating them. But this local business person did not want to talk to me because their industry was negotiating getting some extra bailout money from the government. Even though they had these views and opinions, they couldn't really get stuck into the government because they needed to see if the money would be coming through from them to help them in their industry. So this is the effect that being paid by someone can have, and yeah, it's good for us to be mindful of that. Please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Have courage, speak your truth, support each other, have faith and have fun. Peace out.